Laser tag employees of Reddit, what was the weirdest things you've seen happen in the arena? Went in with a group of old army buddies, 2 were qualified sharpshooters, and got absolutely wrecked by a team of 10 to 12-year-olds. Little bastards were so fast. So what you are saying is child soldiers are effective. During a birthday party, for a teenager, a 16-year-old girl took a sheet on the carpet. She was also the birthday girl. I wasn't an employee, but I was playing laser tag against a group of random kids. And while in the match I saw a kid who took off his laser vest and all his clothes down to his undies, and was running around shooting at people with his laser gun, with the vest dragging by the cord behind him on the floor. Wasn't sure how to react, but he got me with his gum as I wasn't prepared for that. One day, birthday party comes in. Everything went normal until the match ended and everyone had to come back. They all made it back and had cake, except for 2 little dildos who thought it would be hilarious to camp in one of the corners. Everyone noticed they were gone and panicked. 2 other employees went looking for them in the arena, and found them. What was strangest is they decided to make a sheet and piss hole if they were gonna be camping there. That was no fun to clean. TLDR, couple kids took a sheet and I had to clean it. I had my wedding at a venue with laser tag, so I played against an 8-year-old's birthday party, in my wedding dress. Definitely lost. Why are so many people sheeting in laser tag arena corners ducking hell? If there is one thing I have learned from Reddit, it is that a surprising amount of people are out here doing weird stuff with their sheet. Sheeting in weird places, writing on the walls with sheet, etc, etc, etc. Maybe if we are lucky some of it is fake. This is the internet after all, but I have a feeling it is true and people are actually just really ducking gross and sheet all over the place. Melee attacks to conserve ammo. When the kids wouldn't stop shooting in the suit-up area, I would tell them to stop wasting ammo. Only one kid ever called me out that their wasn't ammo. I asked her if it got them to stop shooting. She squinted at me, shot me with the blaster, and was quiet. Former arcade employee. Worked there for a year. We had birthday kid vomited. Didn't tell employees. Had the next group come in and the girls slipped and fell face first into it. Kids who screamed Fortnite. Then proceeded to fall down when they got shot, crawling around and begging to be revived. I told one he could just get up. As the vests powered back on, he just looked at me and said he was playing Fortnite. A kid came out, calm as sheet, nose obviously broken and blood pouring everywhere. Said a kid had hit him with the gum. Filed an incident report. Never heard from the kid again. A Hispanic family came in. A lady fainted and the family started screaming at me to get him some alcohol so she would wake up. I did a lot of wingwoman work there. Oftentimes girls or guys would ask me to put them on the same team as someone they liked. And it was cute seeing the results. Many years ago, because I assumed watching kids hunt down and shoot their classmates is now less of an appropriate birthday activity than it once was. We did periodic lock-ins where people could pay a flat fee and run though as many games as they wanted to. To keep it fresh and keep people from just camping the corners, we ran different game modes interspaced with regular games plus served pizza and had the arcade. Most people would run a few games and take a break during one of the normal tag games to get some food or chat. A group of 3 teenage boys had run every single game for 3 hours and were just behaving oddly. Their scores were low. They didn't seem to care which team they were on. I followed them, they saw me and played normally if half-heartedly. I waited another 2 games and then sent in some regulars as better spies. About 2 minutes in, the lights come up because someone popped the emergency door. The kids had, for reasons known only to stupid teenagers, removed a chain link gate that kept people out of the fog machine area and had been adding weed to the machine, apparently convinced they were going to make everyone high. I saw a kid lick another kid's face after he shot him. He also moaned like he just came in his jorts. Kids in Oklahoma are weird. Worked at a small family-run laser tag for about 3 years. I saw so much weird stuff over the years. With 3 floors in pretty much total darkness, only lighting was UV lights, I knew I was pretty much bound to find weird stuff going on. The worst thing I happened to find was a group of friends, about 7 or 8 people, came in to play a few games. Fast forward to their second game, and as the game is going on, I walk around a corner to a couple, with her hands down his pants and his hand down her pants. Fully going at it. Obviously I had to ask them to leave. Although I did want to know what made them even want to do that when there were kids around too. The most SFW weird thing I saw was probably 3 or 4 dads had unenthusiastically joined the game and found them in a large open space on the ground floor trying to beat each other doing handstands. I later found out they were dads of kid gymnasts. Not an employee, but I saw a kid, like 9, take out a group of 16-year-olds that me and my group of friends had been trying to eliminate for like an hour. Ex-employee. 2 stories. Simple, short. Found a couple ducking in a corner after the game had ended. 2 vests were missing, so I figured it was a pair of kids who got lost or something. Nope. Kid sheet in another corner of the arena. Didn't have to clean it up. Quit a few days later. Edit, glad that my most upvoted comment is about poopin' 6. Follow me on Twitch. Same as username. A friend of mine told me he once caught 2 men engaged in passionate NAL 6 in one of those dark blacklight arenas. Don't know if it's weird, but someone got drunk, climbed onto one of the set pieces, and rode it like a horse, grabbing onto the fire sprinkler head above for support, and then proceeded to rip it out of the ceiling, causing the whole arena to flood into the cell phone store below. Thousands of dollars of damage. We followed that up by implementing a strict zero-tolerance policy on alcohol. Also, the guys we hired to paint the arena walls all space-themed hid penises all over the place. It was very dark in there, so easy to miss them. Took a while before we found them all. When our time was up, we asked one of the employees to stand beside the wall and look at it, and we executed him. Sex, condoms, tampons, used and unused, poop, all of these things can be found in laser tag arenas. The weirdest thing I've seen happen was when I was working in the arena and a kid sheet in the middle of the game. Some poor soul came running through and slipped in it. That was fun. Second weirdest was finding sheety underwear in the bathroom. It looked like the scene from Dumb and Dumberer. Third weirdest was the car fire in the parking lot where I had to pull a kid from a car seat. Those places are black holes of normalcy. Everything is weird there. Not a laser tag employee, but had a weird experience at one of my own birthday parties. I may have been 10 at the time, and we were about to go in when an employee stops us. Says they accidentally double booked and would we mind playing with another group. More's the merrier, I thought. Then the other party comes in, and takes of their UK Territorial Army uniforms to gear up. So there we are, a bunch of children playing laser tag with a bunch of actual soldiers. I would love to say my good score was a result of being a decent shot. But in reality I was a 10-year-old and managed to get a crawl space in which nobody could see me in the dark. I also imagine that they were going easy on me as I was the birthday boy XD. Not an employee, but my husband and I got engaged at a laser tag arena. He invited about 40 friends to play a massive game and used the code name, "Will you marry me?" so that I saw it when he tagged me. Wow, everything is either poop or 6. One time a 7-year-old kid came in with his mum for his birthday party, all excited. They brought party favors and all kinds of stuff. Time went by and no one had showed up, and he got a little sadder every minute. After about 30 minutes, no one had come at all and they left. It's been 25 years and I still don't have birthday parties anymore. I never saw anything super strange. Did see a couple surprising injuries though. The arena is dark and lit by blacklights. So of course for liability purposes we do the whole rule reading before each round, and one of the rules is obviously no running. Kids would inevitably break the rule and end up running into something. Usually not at a speed that could do any more than some bumps or bruises. One little girl managed to sprint full tilt into a wall and break her nose. That was quite the event. Real bloody, real traumatizing for the other kids. Our arena also had some obstacles, like boxes and barrels and sheet. Some of them were loose and could be adjusted between rounds, but were still quite heavy to avoid accidental movement. Other stuff was nailed down so it couldn't go anywhere. This one time a group of boys around 11 to 13 ripped some barrels out of the ground so that they could build their own custom fort. Didn't notice the nails protruding from the barrels. Another kid ran by, ran their hand along the barrel as they ran, and sliced their forearm WAAAAAY open on one of the nails. Thankfully I didn't actually see the aftermath, but that was also quite the gossip. Especially because the victim's parents tried to blame us at first. That threatened lawsuit fell apart pretty quickly when the actual story came out. Not a laser tag arena. And maybe not the weirdest, but there is this Nerf dart arena kind of close to me, and I used to go there often. For the longest time they only had 3 kinds of darts: the regular orange, yellow, blue darts, the green discs, and the red mega darts to use. But Nerf introduced the yellow ball darts. They're basically a small yellow foam golf ball, and they were a game changer. Now these things could be fired accurately all the way across the arena. And most guns can hold 40 of them in a clip, so they were used a lot for ammunition. But they have another use, one that was found quickly. If you stepped on one and weren't paying attention, it could easily make you fall on your butt. So we would throw them into the middle of the arena where people were running the fastest, and make the person fall on their face. This was mainly used in Capture the Flag, but it works in all the other game modes too. TLDR, little yellow foam gonads made a Nerf arena into a deadly game of Twister. Edit, it used to say, 2 kinds of darts, because I forgot about the discs. Place near me was a top consideration for a meth lab. They probably thought I was a weird kid trying to bullet time dive and shoot people like Max Payne. My son said a kid at a birthday he attended got lost somehow and had to poop. So he pooped in one of the bases. 2 kids were playing in the arena. Every few seconds you would hear a shot. Then for a minute straight nothing. 2 minutes, nothing. Then it resumes. Next game. Someone found a turd in the arena. One of the managers screwed one of the employees back there when we were closing. Lots of people run and get clocked in the head with a laser tag gun. Only a few bleed. Some days we didn't care too much and just stood by the door playing on our cell phone the entire shift. In the winter time, the empty business space in the strip mall next to us had a pipe burst. It flooded into laser tag and we had to shut down. I was frequently grabbed and used as a human shield. Saw a huge pile of vomit in laser tag and decided it wasn't my job as I was getting off in 15 minutes. 2 minutes before I got off. Someone else found it. Still had to clean it. This thing looked like someone at a large pizza and threw it up. Edit, I have other stories. I ran the laser tag arena for 2 years before managing the fun center itself for 3 years as the head manager. If you have questions or want more stories, let me know. This post is made for me. I worked at a laser tag place about a year and I've seen some funny and weird shit. Guy wanted a head start, so he ran in there and would respond to my calls for him to get out and wait, had to search for home for 20 minutes. Kids beat another kid with the gum. That one was hard to explain to the parents. And an angry land whale of pure Karen was watching from the observation room when her kid punched another kid. So she proceeded to run to the arena and scream at the child who was on the ground crying after getting punched. More people like to cheat in laser tag arenas than I thought. Apparently. Not me but a friend, as they recalled there was once a kid who took a massive dump in one of the corners and somehow wasn't caught by the other 19 participants. A pretty shady situation if you ask me. Edit, to test those crappy Reddit YouTube channels, I am a lazy copy-paster that doesn't actually read what I post. I'm not an employee, but I saw someone getting his D sucked while he wrecked my team from an obscure sniping spot, pardon my English. WASNT my first language. I got banned from our local laser tag. And I'm a grown as adult. I was cornered by a young girl who was 15 and she wouldn't move out of my way. She just kept shooting me point blank in the chest for like 5 minutes and wouldn't stop. I kept saying, okay, you got me, now please move, and she would just laugh and shoot me again. Finally I got pissed enough and said I didn't pay to get in here to stand in the corner this whole game, and pushed her aside and walked off. She started screaming at the top of her lungs, Jason. JAAASSSOOON. And suddenly all the lights came on and the game stopped. Jason comes running in. Apparently he's the 18-year-old manager and a friend of this girl. She tells him, this lady just hit me. I want her arrested, and Jason proceeds to call the police. I told the cops what really happened and they got the girl to agree not to press charges as long as I was banned. Ducking little brat. Saw a couple of teens. High as kites. Spend the entire 20 minutes staring at a strobe light. Not even holding phases. Just serving as points farm for others. Oh god, the list is endless. Source, worked at a Euro equivalent for 2 years during college. Multiple couples having sex in the arena. Especially under the stairs. People knocking themselves out in various places even though running was not allowed. A gang tried to steal 20 setups for the game by signing up and bolting during the safety talk. They were eventually caught when they realized they didn't have the computer system to run the games and called the suppliers of them game and asking them how to run it. Stealing props from the arena. Taking dumps and urinating in the corners. Lots of kids throwing up with excitement and exertion. Staff would stay on at night and throw parties in the arena. Lots of beer and six. Some guy in a suit and his scary soon-to-be father-in-law came in and took control of the place and recruited all the kids to be on different teams. They eventually betrayed the children at the end after looking at each other and saying, woof woof. Not an employee, but a player. Back when I was early 20s. Me and a few guys went laser tag. Since there was only a couple of us. We got paired with a group of kids. And some of their parents. During the match, one of the fathers had looped his arm through his daughter's vest. And was using her as a shield. And she was just getting carried around like a little shooting shield. Still makes me laugh. Worked at one when I was a teenager. Guy came in, sat in a corner and shot up when nobody was looking. Then sat in a corner and was found a few hours later dead from an overdose. Was only found when a kid brushed up against him and told us about it. This post gave me flashbacks to Ultrazone in San Diego and trying to beat the Sentinel. Which, if I remember correctly, was a massive purple exclamation mark. Airsoft Warden here. Big arena, indoor paintball style area with an outdoor woodland battleground. Hands down the weirdest thing I've ever witnessed during a live match was 3 dudes in a massive trenchcoat walking around comically pretending to be one person. They did this in a joking attempt to skirt our rule preventing standing on someone's shoulders to peek over objects. I accidentally spooked them when I went to confront them and they all fell over in a pile. That's the exact reason we don't allow shoulder standing. The weirdest tactic I've ever seen during a pro match was a dude who put a plexiglass riot shield down on a cornered stair landing and later on used it to accurately ricochet rounds onto enemies in the room at the bottom of the stairs. It was allowed for the round, but intentional ricochets were promptly banned. Bit late, but one time a family of 4, mum, dad and 2 boys aged 6 I think were playing when all of a sudden I hear a scream. I run to where I heard it to be met with the 2 kids of the family covered in their own sh*t and another kid around 10 or 11 screaming his as if in terror as the 2 kids tried to share their poop with him. Quickly called over the parents who ended up having to drag their sheet-covered kids out of the room, leaving the place being shut down for a week and 3 sets of equipment worth £240 being thrown out. I was employed by a laser tag place for a few months in my teens. After working several nights a week, the weirdest thing I saw was my first pay stub. It consisted of a check for $70 accompanied by a bag of game tokens as my compensation. I did not stay there long. This thread has degenerated into nothing but poop stories. Not poop or 6. When I was young, my family went to play laser tag. This was in New Orleans. Mostly kids were playing that day. But there was also an older guy, maybe 25. This older guy was competitive. He wanted to win bad. Here I am, probably 13 years old, running around like James Bond from N64 GoldenEye, using the structures to cover myself. I round a corner looking for prey and what do I find? The older guy, coming at me full speed backwards, bent over, with his gum between his legs. As first, his strategy was simple yet effective. If he shoots between his legs, no one can shoot his chest or back. He was an unbeatable as gunner. Worst game ever.